We usually do not lose control of money because of one stupid decision. We lose it quietly, while trying to live a normal life. A normal apartment, a normal car, normal groceries, normal subscriptions, normal weekends. Then one day, normal feels impossible to afford. We tell ourselves the paycheck should be enough because technically it looks like enough. The salary sounds respectable, the direct deposit looks decent, but after rent, taxes, insurance, groceries, gas, debt, and a few human moments of weakness, the number starts shrinking fast. The common advice is to just be more disciplined, but discipline is a weak plan when your life is already overloaded. After work, traffic bills, family pressure, and a long list of decisions, your brain does not want a budget. It wants comfort. If you like calm personal finance breakdowns without shame, fake motivation, or get-rich promises, subscribe to the channel before we go deeper because this is not about judging the way we spend. It is about understanding why the money keeps slipping away. The truth is, personal finance for beginners should start with a very simple idea. Before we try to build wealth, invest, buy real estate, or repair our credit, we have to stop letting the paycheck disappear without a witness. Most of us do not actually know what our life costs. We know the big bills, we know rent, we know the car payment, we know the credit card minimum, but we do not know the full cost of convenience, avoidance, stress, and automatic payments. And because we do not know, we guess. We guess groceries are the problem, we guess the coffee is the problem, we guess income is the only problem. Sometimes those guesses are partly right, but guessing does not create control. Control starts when we look at the real numbers without making them mean something about our character. A bad month does not mean we are failures. It means the system is either missing, broken, or built around a version of life that no longer matches reality. Think about the last payday. Money came in. Maybe for a few hours, life felt lighter. Then the bills arrived like they had been waiting at the door. By the time the important stuff was paid, the rest of the paycheck had to survive 2 weeks of temptation, emergencies, and tired decisions. That is why money management is not just about cutting expenses. It is about building a payday routine strong enough to protect us when our mood is weak, our schedule is full, and every app on our phone is asking for a little piece of our future. The first thing we have to admit is that most of us do not need a perfect budget. We need a budget that survives a normal week. A week where work runs late, groceries cost more, gas prices move, and we are too tired to cook every night. A budget that only works when life is calm is not a real system. It is a wish. Real money management has to include the messy parts of being human. That means we need categories that are honest. Not just rent and bills, but convenience, avoidance, social pressure, stress spending. The little purchases we make because we do not want to feel behind, tired, lonely, or restricted. When we leave those things unnamed, they do not disappear. They hide inside the bank statement. They blend in with normal spending until the whole month feels confusing. One of the most useful money management tips is also one of the least exciting. Separate fixed expenses from flexible expenses. Fixed expenses are the ones that arrive whether we had a good week or a bad week. Flexible expenses are where our emotions usually leave fingerprints. Fixed expenses show us pressure. Flexible expenses show us patterns. Debt shows us where the past is still collecting money from the present. Once we see those three things, the paycheck stops feeling like a mystery. We may not like what we find, but at least we are no longer guessing. And this matters because guessing is expensive. Guessing makes us think we have more room than we do. Guessing makes us promise ourselves that next month will be better without changing the system that created this month. Comment checklist below if you want the simple cash flow audit. I'll put it in the pinned comment so you can look at your own numbers without shame and without making it more complicated than it needs to be. The next layer is debt. Debt is not just a balance, it is a monthly claim on future freedom. Every minimum payment is money that arrives already spoken for, and after a while, that can make even a decent paycheck feel weak. The difficult part about debt is that it often starts as relief. We use the card because the car needs a repair. We use the card because the kids need something. We use the card because the paycheck is close, and we promise ourselves it will be fine. Then the next paycheck arrives, and it is not fine. The old balance is still there. The new bills are still there. Interest has been added. Life did not pause just because we borrowed from the future. This is why a debt-free journey is not only a math journey, it is an emotional one. We have to stop using debt as a pressure valve for a system that keeps creating pressure. That does not mean we shame ourselves. Shame makes people hide. Shame makes people avoid statements, ignore balances, and pretend the minimum payment is a plan. A real plan starts when we can look at the number without turning it into an identity. The next thing we need is a small buffer, not because a small emergency fund makes us wealthy, but because it interrupts the cycle. If every surprise goes on a card, the card becomes part of our survival system. Even $500 can change the story. The same flat tire that used to become debt becomes an annoying Tuesday. The same medical copay that used to create panic becomes something we can handle and recover from. After that, we can think more clearly about saving versus investing. Saving protects the short term. Investing builds the long term. Debt payoff removes drag. All three matter, but they do not all solve the same problem. If we invest while having no emergency buffer, we may feel smart until life forces us to sell or borrow. If we save forever and never invest, we may feel safe but miss long-term growth. If we ignore high-interest debt, we may be building with one hand while interest takes from the other. So the question is not, what do smart people do with money? The better question is, what does my financial life need next so I can become less fragile? Less fragile is a powerful goal. It means one bill does not ruin the month. One mistake does not become a spiral. One hard week does not erase every bit of progress. Once we become less fragile, investing starts to make more sense. Not because investing is magic, but because we finally have enough stability to let long-term money stay long-term. A lot of us try to jump straight into investing because it sounds better than budgeting. It feels more impressive to say we bought stocks than to say we canceled unused subscriptions and built an emergency buffer. But if our cash flow is broken, investing can become emotional. We panic when the market drops. We sell when life gets expensive. We chase trends because we are hoping one good move will clean up years of messy habits. That is not investing. That is stress wearing a finance costume. Real wealth-building strategies are often quieter than people want them to be. Spend less than we earn. Pay attention to debt. Keep fixed costs reasonable. Save automatically. Invest consistently. Avoid making permanent decisions during temporary emotions. None of that sounds exciting. But excitement is not the same as progress. A lot of financial traps are exciting at the beginning and exhausting later. Think of our cash flow like a road. If the road is full of potholes, buying a faster car does not solve the trip. More income, more investing knowledge, or a new side hustle can help, but only if the road can actually carry the speed. So before we chase bigger financial goals, we need to repair the road. That means knowing what comes in, what goes out, what repeats, what surprises us, and what keeps getting justified because it feels normal. Comment checklist below if you want the simple money audit. I'll pin it in the comments so you can look at your real cash flow and find the places where money is leaving quietly. The practical move is not complicated. Pick one category this week, just one. Food, subscriptions, car costs, debt payments, or random shopping. Do not fix everything. Find one leak and close it. Once we pick one leak, we make it specific, not spend less on food. That is too vague. Instead, cook dinner Monday through Thursday, keep 2 easy meals at home, and decide before the week starts which nights we are allowed to buy convenience. Not cancel subscriptions, too vague. Instead, open the bank statement, find every recurring charge, and ask one question. Would I sign up for this again today at the same price? Not pay off debt someday. Too vague. Instead, choose one balance, stop adding to it, pay more than the minimum when possible, and watch the number move. Slowly still counts. Not start investing when life feels perfect. It may never feel perfect. Build the buffer, reduce the expensive debt, then start simple if your situation allows it. Low cost, automatic, boring enough to survive your emotions. The point is to make the right decision easier before the hard moment arrives. Because when we are tired, hungry, stressed, or embarrassed, we do not rise to our best financial intentions. We usually fall back to whatever system is already there. The big reveal is this: money does not only measure what we earn, it reveals what we repeat. If the same leak appears every month, it is no longer a surprise. It is a system asking to be changed. So we have to ask ourselves honestly, which expense have we normalized because everyone else has it? Which payment is making the paycheck feel smaller? Which habit keeps taking money because we have not been willing to look at it directly? Comment checklist below and check the pinned comment. I'll leave the free cash flow audit there, along with the community details, so you can start with one clear step instead of trying to fix everything at once. We do not need a perfect financial life to begin. We need one honest look, one repaired leak, and one paycheck that finally starts working for us instead of passing through us.